a kiddo come in today. He's like, I don't know why I'm here. My mom, wanted me to get checked out. Okay, what's going on? He's like, yeah, well, I have some back pain sometimes and this and that. But that's kind of usual. That's normal. And I'm like, back pain's not normal. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have back pain on a regular basis. You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, well, yeah, it's only after I lift and this. I'm like, okay, if it's muscle soreness, that's one thing. But you just said it was pain.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, the muscle soreness lasts for a day or two, but the pain, it takes about a week to reset, and then I go lift again and it happens again. I'm like, that's not normal, buddy. Like,
yeah.
Even though your coaches and your trainers and your parents even might have accommodated, like, oh yeah, tough it out, you're good. Like, it's just because you're lifting weights and you're getting stronger and you're getting bigger and whatever. No, pain is not normal. Pain is your body's kind of response to danger. It's a danger signal to tell your brain something's wrong, something's off. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Towel Talk. Today, we're going to dive into the big, broad topic of what is PT. So there's plenty of misconceptions out there, plenty of discussions on like what elevator pitches and things like that would be for PTs. What are some? Let's start with some misconceptions of what we do, and then dive into what we actually do.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you get from folks?
The biggest thing is probably that I'm there to torture them.
Yeah.
The pain and torture.
Yeah. PT stands for pain and torture.
I'm gonna stretch you and massage you for an hour. Sometimes there's that, and then other times it's I'm going to give you a bunch of exercises to do that are super low level exercises and not really going to help you with getting stronger. And so I think that as of recently, that's been kind of the thing that I'll get from the younger crowd.
Yeah.
Just because of social media. I think a lot of PTs get bashed for underloading. I don't think that I'm one of those PTs, though. Right. I know they're out there.
Yep.
So I think there's tons of misconceptions there, but usually what I'll tell people is I'm here to help you move better.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you with improving your function. I'm not really here to resolve or fix pain. I think I'm here to help you manage your pain.
Yeah.
And if we can resolve it, that's good, but I'm function first. Let's improve function, and then as your function improves, maybe you'll notice pain starts to decrease a little bit. So that's kind of how I explain it to folks. I actually explained it to a patient that way today.
Yeah.
Because she's very new to PT. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm kind of scared.
I don't know why I'm here.
Are you gonna make my pain worse? Everyone keeps telling me it's gonna hurt more.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you with your goals. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What are you not able to do right now? And my job is to help assist you in reaching that goal.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most simple way that I can kind of explain it.
Yeah. I think one of the main misconception I get all the time, oh, you're the massage guys. You do all that soft tissue. You can work on my knot here. I got.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
We're not massage therapists. We don't do that. We do soft tissue, but it's in conjunction with improving function or exercise or this or that or the other.
Yeah.
The other piece is, can you snap, crackle, pop? You guys do the chiropractor stuff. It's interesting. They always define PT by another profession.
Yeah.
Oh, you do the massage. Oh, you do the chiropractic stuff. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you the needle people.
Needle people.
Now we're the needle people.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting thing that people don't understand unless they've been injured and already been to PT. Then they kind of understand what we do. But
yeah,
I think the way it's better now in the clinical setting that we're in because people are seeking us out, so they know what we do, why we do it, how we do it. But in a typical clinic setting, sometimes you just get like, I don't know why I'm here. Doc sent me here for 4 to 6 weeks because he won't approve my MRI until I do this, or I can't get my next opiate prescription until I finish 4 weeks of this, or I can't get my surgery until. So it's kind of a stepping stone of I just have to be here, so I'm here. And so they automatically don't believe in it. They don't care about it. They're not bought into it. So it's an interesting dynamic that we battle as well from that perspective in a normal clinical setting.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes it's interesting because I would think when we get a referral or when someone is referred over to us, that there'd be a little bit more education
Right.
on what's going on. And when I came out of school, I was probably a little bit naive about that, kind of thinking, well, if your doc told you to come here, or, you know, if you had pain management, or maybe even a chiropractor, or you got in an accident and you had a lawyer tell you to come, I would think you'd know a little bit about it. But the truth is that some people don't know anything about what happens. And so when they come into PT, you're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to help you do this, this, and this. But deep down inside, that person's like this.
Yep.
You know, they're just so nervous. And so I took someone's blood pressure today.
Oh.
And her blood pressure was just like way higher than normal.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, okay, is this normal for you? No, it's not. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, sometimes when I go to the doctor, they take my blood pressure and it's extremely high.
Yeah. White coat
because
syndrome.
I get white coat syndrome, and I'm like, you guys aren't allowed to tell me anything other than you look great.
Right.
You know? Or else I'm gonna freak out. And she starts laughing and stuff like that. And I was like, but I'm not intimidating like those guys, right? You know, and I'm getting her to calm down a little bit. And we take it again, her blood pressure's already going back down. And I was like, this is your first experience with PT, and I know you probably don't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I'm here to help you reach your goals. I'm here to help you guide this journey, but you're in charge. I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
I'm not here to criticize you, tell you you're doing the wrong thing, or, you know, tell you we have to do it this way and this is the only way. I'm here to help you out and go along with this journey with you, you know?
Yeah.
And she started calming down a little bit more and more. And it just kind of goes to show you some people really don't know what to expect.
Nope.
And most of the time when we do see people, they are in pain. They are recovering from an injury.
Yeah.
They're like not able to do some of the things that they want to do. So they're kind of in this state of mind that's, you know, they're bummed out. They're sad. They're uncomfortable. Now we're going to have them go and move their body, and they're just like, well, it hurts to move it, or I haven't been able to move it. So I think really explaining to them what we're going to do and why I'm here to help you is huge.
Yeah.
And so for any of you clinicians just starting there, like, don't forget how big of a deal that is, really explaining to someone what the goal is, why you're here, what it is you're going to do to help them out, because a lot of folks don't know.
Yeah. I think, again, when someone's like, what is PT? There's so many levels. We're educators, we're cheerleaders, we're facilitators, we're psychologists sometimes, having to talk them through a lot of their problems. We're customer service reps, you know, like there's so many layers to what we do. Like you're saying, most of these people are coming in injured, hurt, can't do the things they want to do. They're restricted in their lifestyles. People have gotten super grumpy at us and super cranky. And I'm like, and then they apologize almost immediately. I'm like, be cranky, be grumpy. Like if I was in your position and I couldn't play with my grandkids, or I couldn't, you know, get back to my workouts or do the activity that I love, I would be grumpy as heck. Like, yeah, go ahead, you're allowed to be.
Yeah.
But I'm here to be your teammate. I'm here to facilitate this thing. Your body already knows how to heal itself. It knows what to do. We just need to help it get there. We need to help essentially get our kind of current lifestyles out of our own way, right? First thing people do when they're in pain or dysfunction, you know, self-medicate. Ibuprofen, grab a beer at night, ignore the problem. Oh, it'll take care of itself. Let me wait it out for a couple weeks, you know? So
Yeah.
teaching them that, no, the body already has all the tools. We just need to kind of figure out why it's getting in its own way, or what we're doing day to day to get in our own ways. Let's help you get back to doing what you need to do. So there's so much more than just soft tissue or dry needling or exercise or fixing form or all that kind of stuff. There's tons and tons. Pain science. You start talking about pain science and stuff like that. Like it's so much more than just the traditional model of come in, go do your 10 exercises, let me do some, you know, massage on you for 8 minutes so I can bill it out, and out the door you go with some heat and stim.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately I think that's where some of these misconceptions and these fears and things come from, is people aren't listening. People aren't getting heard when they go to PT. They're in these clinics where there's 45 other people in the clinic at the same time, and so they're getting barked out orders, go do your exercise over there. No one's actually checking in. Are you doing it right? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling worse?
Yeah.
We've gotten clients from other clinics that have gotten worse. They're like, I am only here because my wife told me I have to be here and I'm coming to you, but I don't believe in PT. It made me worse the last time around. And we have to almost break down that entire guard, talk them through what we do, how we do it. And even then we're now playing catch up because there's already this negative kind of mindset around it. So that's the kind of psychological piece that we also start playing into. So.
Yeah. And it's tough when you're dealing with someone that's, I've gone to PT several times. I've gone to the doctor. I've done this. I've done that, and nothing's working. Like, I'm really only here because, like you said, I need an MRI. Insurance is only gonna let me get an MRI if I do 4 weeks of therapy. I can only get pain medication if I do 6 weeks of PT.
Yep.
And so then it becomes a really big emphasis on educating that person, and sometimes in situations, depending on the clinic that you may work at or the setting you're in, it's hard to do that because then you can't bill. But I love now that I can spend the whole hour educating. I can spend the whole hour talking about what it is that we're going to do differently. I can spend the whole hour asking questions about, well, what did you do at that therapy clinic? And then when you went to this one, what did you do there? When you went to your doc, what did they talk to you about? Did they explain how pain works? They didn't? Let's talk about it. Oh, you did these exercises at your other PT? Show me how they taught you how to do them. No wonder it didn't work because you're not doing it the right way. Or no wonder it didn't work. That's inappropriate for you. Let's get you doing this one.
You're not even activating the right muscles.
I have that time to be able to do that, whereas unfortunately there's some folks that are working in settings where it's dictated a lot by the amount of people that are coming through the door and what insurance is gonna approve or not. And so now being in a situation where I don't have to do that, I can spend that extra time. And so even today there are 2 people that I talked to today. I brought up outpatient and they looked at me like, I'm not going anywhere else. You're gonna be coming and seeing me. Like, I'm staying with you. I don't care how much equipment you have access to or don't have access to. I want to work with you. And it's because they see the difference between being somewhere where it's just, a patient mill and they don't even know what PT is at that point. They're just like, well, they just put me on a table on a heat pad and then gave me a strap. I did a few stretches. Then I got on an ice pack. And then the therapist waved to me goodbye as I left. And that was it.
It's such a kind of terrible system. And again, a lot of these systems are handcuffed by what insurance will pay for and cover. And so being in a model like ours where we have that time, when we first started, we initially had to intentionally slow down our evaluation process and our conversation because we were so used to rushing through everything. We're like, I got 10 minutes because I got 4 more people coming in this hour. So me and you got 10 minutes tops before I'm juggling 3 more people again, So we got really good at rushing through the process, trying to identify, sometimes missing things, sometimes skipping over things just because of time constraints. Now they have it, we were like, okay, how do we intentionally slow this process down? And again, it did. Like, we can listen to the whole story. Sometimes a lot of our patients tell us, hey, you're the first medical provider I've seen that has sat and listened to my entire story. Because we'll ask, like, okay, what's going on? They're like, well, where do I start? Beginning. Start when this started, so that I know and I have all this information I can collect. So we're information gatherers too, like we're detectives. We're looking at how do we find and how do we hone in? What are we looking at? What layers of the onion do you have going on? How many layers do we need to peel back to actually then address the actual problem? There's like you mentioned earlier, we're not fixing pain. We're fixing so much more than pain. Pain is one piece of the puzzle. Function, mentality, mindset, tolerance to activity. So much else is being addressed in what we do as physical therapists. So.
And that role changes depending on what walks through the door, right? And so that's the thing, is just being able to recognize and notice these different skills and the hats that we should be wearing and knowing when to go, okay, this is time for me to wear my therapy hat and go, okay, let's listen to you for a little bit and let's kind of work through something together.
Yeah.
Or the time where it's like, this is time for me to kind of crack the whip a little bit and go,
Yeah.
no, it's time to progress. We've been doing this for a little while. You're strong enough. Let's do a little more.
Yep.
Or maybe it's time to investigate a little bit. Someone did come in. This is their 5th PT clinic that they've been to. All right, well, let's sit down and get to the bottom of this and see, okay, why haven't you had success yet?
Yeah.
You know, like what has been looked at that, or has not been looked at yet, you know, and we have to wear that kind of, be that investigator and wear that hat too.
Yep.
And so knowing when to, you know, switch, turn on and off. And honestly, I think they're always all running.
Yeah.
It's just which one are we going to lean into a little bit more that day, depending on the person that we're dealing with or what they're dealing with that day too.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it can be case by case or day by day.
Yeah, I joke with my clients all the time. Like some of these kiddos will come in, they've been, you know, they work a part-time job, they're in school, they're playing sports. They come in dragging, looking to, hey, today's a therapeutic nap day. Yeah, I was planning on doing X, Y, and Z, but today I can already tell by the way you walked in, you're not primed for activity or movement. I'm going to hurt you, not help you by doing something. Therapeutic nap. Let's do some light stretching, some mobility work, some soft tissue, passive modalities today, because that's what you need. Your body needs rest. Other days they're peppy, they're coming in, hey, I'm crushing your soul today. Today is core and cardio.
Yeah,
you are mine.
we're getting after it.
Yep.
We're getting after it today.
So again, yeah, like having that mindset and that decision making to be on the fly. A lot of times people, you know, students or new clinicians, what's the plan for today? Like, I don't have a plan. I'm going to see how they feel walking in, what they look like, how they act, how they tolerated the last session. Because I've already been planned and I'm set to it. And they come in and go, hey, last treatment sucked. I'm way worse. Everything's worse again. Uh-oh. Now I was set and dedicated and I only thought about this one plan. Now I look crazy because I'm like, okay, let me just sit here and think about what I do now.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm already flexible, okay, if it went wrong and I made the wrong decision on how to progress or regression last time, today we can do X, Y, and Z. Or you know what? Last time was perfect. They came back in feeling great. Now I can even ramp it up even more. So kind of going into that open-ended mindset of what we're going to do with clients, how, like you were saying, what is today going to look like? It's going to be different every time time someone walks in.
Yeah. I had to change someone's stuff on the fly today, and not even that much. It was just she was dealing with so much stress, didn't want to do PT.
Yeah.
All right, let's just talk. I got this going on, that doctor's appointment, and this and that, and I'm dealing with this stomach issue, and they're trying to figure that out, and I'm having to deal with another therapist coming in for my hand too, and then I got to go to all these other appointments, and I'm tired. I just want to be able to do blah blah blah, and I'm just okay, just keep letting it out, let it out, and then finally after that, she's like, well, actually, I think I can do a little bit today still.
There you go. Yeah. She came up to it on her own, on her own accord.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then let's do a little bit today. We don't have to do as much as we did last time. I'm going to just go based off of what you give me.
Right.
And then that's what we did and had a pretty successful session that way. So, being able to make that adjustment on the fly. And most of the time, I used to never understand this when they would tell us in school or when I was in my COMT cohort. The patient is going to tell you what's wrong.
Yes. Yes.
I know it sounds silly because it's like, well, duh, they're going to tell you what's wrong,
right.
But they will they will hand it to you on a plate.
Yep.
And if you are present and aware and able to listen to them, you'll be able to notice that. They're going to hand it right to you on a plate every single time.
Yeah.
Almost every single time, and it's
100% correct. Yeah. All the educators out there that are running PT schools are going to get mad, but I rarely do special tests. I rarely do all this extra stuff because, again, if I sit and listen to you for half an hour, you've told me how you got hurt. You've told me how long it's been going on. You've told me the mechanism of injury. You've told me all of these things, how it's affecting your day-to-day life. I already have my goals. I already have what we're going to work on. I already have what assessment, we're going to do. We're already on the right track. Yeah. I already know what I want to try to rule out based on differential diagnosis, things like that. I don't have to do special tests because I've already oh yeah, you fell this way, or you did this way, or it was a car accident, or this or that. Like, again, they just,
Yeah.
if we're listening, they told us.
They will tell
They told
you
everything.
They will tell you exactly what you need to know. But I think so often people are not, they're not listening. You're not listening to the patient. And that's kind of like you mentioned, people saying, this is the first time that I've had someone actually sit down and listen to me. And you're going, well, yeah, of course, because you're going to tell me exactly what it is that we need to do.
Yep.
You know, but the medical system, I think at times isn't set up that way to listen.
Not at all. Nope.
And so then once again, another hat that we have to wear, being an active listener,
Yeah.
right?
And
Being able to kind of like check yourself at the door and go, I know that you think this is what's going on, but just finish listening to them.
yeah.
Just listen to what they have to say, because your mind will take you this way. And then you're going, oh, wait a minute, you're actually saying all that stuff.
Right.
Let me come over here and listen to you really quick.
Yeah.
Versus going, oh, low back. Okay, here, we're doing.
We're gone.
Yeah.
We already have a plan.
Yeah.
Without listening.
Without listening.
Yeah, and you know, that's a great point. I never look at their imaging. I never look at their stuff before I've talked to them. Some of them like, oh, all my other previous PTs or docs wanted to look at all this. I'm like, yep. Put it off to the side. They're like, don't you? I'm like, I'll look at all that stuff. I want to talk with you.
Yeah.
I know what's on paper. I know what you've kind of filled out on our forms. I want to chat one-on-one with you. I want you to tell me about this stuff. Because sometimes they also forget. So that's another tool that we have in our tool bag of actually trying to get to the bottom of some of the information. You know, sometimes it's been there for so long, it's chronic, they don't remember how it originally happened until you start talking to them about it and asking more questions. And like, oh, you know what, that's right, yeah. You know, it happened 5 years ago, and that's right when I started training for my marathon, or, you know, that's right when I had my first child, or that, you know, and it all of a sudden they're like, oh, these dots in my mind weren't connected, and now all of a sudden, because of what you've asked me now and what you've tried to pull out of me, they're connecting. And so they're now starting to put the pieces together. And again, then you get to the bottom of it. So sometimes it's not even just listening, it's knowing what questions to ask next. What other information do you want to try to pull from them?
Yeah.
You know, almost, I joke about it, but like House, the show. He thinks all patients are lying to him at all times, right? I don't think all patients are lying. All patients just have either forgotten what's happened or haven't paid attention enough to what's going on in their bodies, or it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
They've ignored it and gotten used to it.
Yeah.
So many people. I had a kiddo come in today. He's like, I don't know why I'm here. My mom, you know, wanted me to get checked out. Okay, what's going on? He's like, yeah, well, I have some back pain sometimes and this and that. But that's kind of usual. That's normal. And I'm like, back pain's not normal. You shouldn't have back pain on a regular basis. You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, well, yeah, it's only after I lift and this. I'm like, okay, if it's muscle soreness, that's one thing. But you just said it was pain.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, the muscle soreness lasts for a day or two, but you know, the pain, it takes about a week to reset, and then I go lift again and it happens again. I'm like, that's not normal, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
even though your coaches and your trainers and your parents even might have accommodated, like, oh yeah, you know, tough it out, you're good. Like, it's just because you're lifting weights and you're getting stronger and you're getting bigger and whatever. No, pain is not normal. Pain is your body's kind of response to danger. It's a danger signal to tell your brain something's wrong, something's off. So yeah, kind of finding all of that information, gathering all of that stuff, getting to the bottom of what's really going on. So when people are like, what's your elevator pitch for PT? I'm like, I can't do it. There's too much involved in PT for me to, like, you got half an hour, we're going to ride this elevator up and down.
Yeah.
Or is this the elevator in the Burj Khalifa? Because we're going for a while. Like,
Yeah, we're gonna be sitting here chatting for a little bit, you know.
I'm not boiling this down to one sentence or one phrase, because there's so much we do as PTs.
It is a lot.
Or so much that we should do. Again,
There is
sometimes
a
the
lot.
systems handcuff us. Sometimes we have to work within the restrictions that we have. So hats off for the PTs that are kind of working in those scenarios, that are trying to be better. I know you were in that scenario, and that's how we met originally. It was like, hey, I'm handcuffed. I'm trying to do all this stuff, but I'm getting pushed back, not just from the system, from my bosses, from the other PTs, that I need to work better in the system and fit. And you're like, I don't want to fit in that system. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I want to go here. I want to be unhandcuffed. I want to be free.
Yeah.
You know? So that's a lot more than just exercise and massage and neck and back popping.
Yeah. I know in school we had a course where our professor put a bunch of things up on the board and just a whole list of stuff that PTs do.
Yeah.
And then he said, it's hard to dictate what it is that we are and what we do. And so it makes it difficult for other people to really understand. Whereas when you go to like your family medicine doctor, you
Right.
kind of know, well, I'm going for a checkup. And if he notices anything, he's going to send me to this
someone
person.
else. Yep.
And then when I go over there, they're going to check this. When I go over there, they're going to check that. When I go to PT, I think they're going to help me with my low back pain, but I'm not 100% sure because I went to PT in the past for, dizziness.
Right.
And they helped me with that.
Yeah, I don't know how that guy's going to help me with
But
my
then
back pain.
my grandma's going to PT for balance.
Right.
So like, I don't really know, so there's just so many different things that we are able to do. It's just very important that we're educating folks when they walk through the door on how that experience is going to go.
And that's a great point that I haven't even thought about before too, is like maybe one of the problems is that we don't specialize, or we haven't kind of dove so deep into specialization that people are identified by their specialty, right? Like most people, when they're like, I'm going to a doctor, they don't say I'm going to a doctor. I'm going to my liver specialist. I'm going to a nephrologist. I'm going to an endocrinologist. I'm going to my ENT. They already know who they are going to see and for what specific reason. Whereas like you said, I'm going to see my PT. Okay, you're doing balance, you're doing surgery, management, are you doing pain management, are you doing low back pain, are you doing dizziness? Are you doing soft tissue work? Are we doing cupping and scraping? Are we doing exercising? Are we doing kind of health and wellness? So we're doing modalities. Like what am I showing up to today?
Yeah.
I don't know. So maybe that is something we have to get better at with messaging as a profession in general of, hey, yeah, I'm identifying as a sports PT. I'm, a ortho PT. I'm a dizziness specialist. And I know they're working on all the specialties, but it's still not ingrained as, like physicians, you have to come out with a specialty. You are identified by that specialty from there on forward in your career.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to switch. Whereas right now, I can go be a vestibular therapist if I wanted. I could go be a pediatric therapist if I wanted. I don't necessarily need anything else, So yes, should I have more training? Should I get more kind of advanced knowledge? Absolutely, if I'm going to switch. But the reality is, if tomorrow I want to go get another job in another specialty within PT, I can just pop in and do it.
Yeah.
And most companies will take it. We're understaffed for pretty much everywhere around the country. So maybe that's a messaging problem that we need to work on, a PR problem as a profession.
Yeah. It gets deep.
Yeah.
It gets deep.
Yeah. So not a quick, easy 10-second, what is PT?
Yeah.
Which we're finding out a lot about these topics. There's a lot more that we can discuss and dive into, and that's involved with everything that we do.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap on that.
Yep. We always fold the towels way too fast. All right, guys. Thanks again for sticking around for Towel Talk. Again, we don't know when the next one will drop. We don't know how long it'll be. We don't even know what the topic is going to be, but we know we're going to fold some towels and we're going to chat about something PT related. So thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time.